Welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to We Have More. My name is Veronica and it's such a pleasure to have you guys here today joining us.
Hi guys, I'm Mio and this is We Have More. Together discovering they were made of more, by more, and
for more. Once again, thank you so much for the new subscribers, for all the likes, for all your comments, for the support, for the love, for tuning in to joining us. Thank you so much. We love you guys. We do all of this for you guys, just to get to know you guys, so you guys can know our stories, so we can know your stories, and kind of create this community of amazing women that no doubt have survived the impossible, the unthinkable, and are here today to talk about it. So thank you. If you guys haven't subscribed to our channel, would you please subscribe to our channel by hitting the subscribe button? And also hit the little notification bell to be notified of every time that we post a new video, or if we post a new challenge, everything that we post, you'll be notified. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for being such faithful subscribers. We enjoy being blessed by you.
Yep.
And the winner of this week's challenge is, drumroll, Manisha.
Woohoo, Manisha! Manisha, thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for the love and for showing us support. It means a lot. You won a gift card to one of the local restaurants, so you can have a date night with your hubby. So enjoy that and thank you so much.
Yeah, and as we continue our discussion on fear and the acronyms we gave to this paralyzing emotion or word, this week we present 2 acronyms and 2 ways of looking into them.
Yeah, so as we researched the word fear and the topics that we were going to present a couple of months ago, we came up with this quote, and I want to read it to you guys that we found. It says, fear is face everything and rise, or forget everything and run. It's your choice. And maybe a couple of you guys have seen this on different types of quotes. A lot of people use it for when they're doing like a physical challenge and trying to get into better shape and stuff like that.
Join the gym and stuff like that.
Yeah, doing like a new adventure and new dreams. I'm sorry, I'm just focusing on my hair because I know it look good. I just got my hair done. You guys know how it is. Anyways, so I wanted to bring some wisdom to these 2 aspects, because this quote kind of plays both options, as one being the good one, like if you face everything and rise, you're brave, you're courageous, this is the good one. And if you forget everything and run, you're a chump, you're a scary cat, no offense to cats, you're kind of a wimp. But actually, I think that when we look at fear as an acronym and we see these 2 options, there is boldness in both these choices, right? They're both amazing acts of bravery that it all depends on the purpose behind your position and where you are in your life, right? And the direction of your destiny. So I think there's 2 options that we need to consider here.
Yeah. So in the following stories, we find how these acts both greatly glorify God and give you more favor that you would have expected.
Yeah.
They show you how to become an example of boldness and grace, inspiring all those who surround you.
Awesome. You know?
And Peter answered him, Lord, if it's you, command me to come to you on the water. He said, come. So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink, and he cried out, Lord, save me. Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, O you of little faith, why did you doubt? And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and all those in the boat worshipped him and said, truly you are the Son of God. That can be found in Matthew 14:28-33. And how crazy must have that been to witness?
Cray.
Yes, if I saw somebody walking over water, I'll be thinking I'm the crazy one, because
yeah, You remember those models that try to put, when they're modeling on top of the water, and there's actually like a plastic or like a fiberglass
and then you see the videos of them falling.
Yeah, please don't do that. It's hilarious to us when we watch the videos, but that's not safe.
It looks pretty painful for whoever
it's not
tries that at
safe.
home.
Regardless of how they plan to do it, there was no fiberglass in this situation. There was a raging storm. And I love that sometimes the Bible, when they're saying a story, I love to envision how I would react on that story. So you guys know me. I'd be the first one out the boat. I'd be like, hey, Jesus, of course. But of course, I would also be the one sinking. And
she would be really scared. She doesn't like water that much.
Yeah. Hence.
So be, like this length right here, so she can feel comfortable.
I've been almost drowned a couple of times, like 3 times. But we'll tell you that story later. But at that moment, I would have been like, after saying, of course, Jesus, the moment the fear hits, I would have been like, save me! So I usually think, overly dramatic about that situation and how, Peter was in this situation,
Yeah, and ever since Peter began to sink, some have criticized him.
Yeah.
But I have yet to see any critics repeat his actions. Come on, they may try, but all of them are gonna sink.
Exactly. Sometimes people criticize because they can't do what you're doing, and they really want to do what you're doing. They want to be who you are, but they can't because everybody was designed differently for a purpose. So here we go. We have good critics, but we also have bad critics. Regardless of what critics come into your life, there's one that speaks and knows everything. That's the voice you should be listening to.
Amen. And you can see that his boldness to face everything and rise teaches us a couple of things.
So number 1, obedience speaks louder than words. In Peter's story, it's basically saying, do what God told you to do.
Amen.
It's that simple. We like to complicate things, but Jesus is very simple when he speaks to us. He told Peter to come to him on the water. And even though it made no sense, Peter did what Jesus said. Obedience to the ones we love will always speak louder than our fear. That's an amazing statement, because sometimes we don't understand certain things in our relationships, and we are put in compromising positions to do things that sometimes make no sense to us. But the obedience and the trust to that person that you love, that that's got your back, that's got your best interests, will always speak louder than any fear, whether it be that person is taking a new job, whether it be your husband. I went through that recently when Chris decided to take a new career path and he didn't work for a couple of months, and we kept, utilizing our savings and, working out the things in order to plan out this new career change. Gracefully, we trusted God, and not only God, but I also trusted my husband, and I believed Chris that he would be responsible to complete it. And Chris was so amazing that he ended up working and studying at the same time, and now he has a career path and a career that he's really proud of. And I really saw God's hand and also Chris's word be accomplished, and it's been awesome, and it's been great. It could be a job, it could be something that's new, it could be a baby, it could be anything that you really doesn't make sense to you at the beginning, but obedience will always silence those fears, right? Are you bold enough to do what God is telling you to do? I don't know what it is. Mio, I know that you were bold enough when you decided to move from Puerto Rico over here to Wisconsin. I know that you've been bold enough to do certain things during these couple of years that you've lived here. I really
took a hurricane, but
I really think that seeing her here and doing these videos is a bold thing that she didn't expect. She decided to trust me. She also saw the vision of what We Have More could become. So that's a testament even of, obedience.
I trusted that red hair.
Yeah, that speaks louder than words, right? Number 2, faith is the unquestioning belief that unleashes the supernatural. Peter did not experience the supernatural power of God that allowed him to walk on water until he trusted, as evidenced by his actions. Is there anything that you need to be doing different in your walk with God? Is there anything that you need to be doing and trusting God different for? You know what I mean? He's got your back. He knows everything. He has you in the palm of his hand. So trust him, get to know him. And our God is even so gracious that if you have questions, he'll answer. The other day we were having a conversation, me and my friend, and there's something that's been so evident in my life and in my walk with God, and that's why I speak so boldly and so unashamed and so right of him. That's why he is the involvement of my existence, and the purpose of my existence is that God doesn't stop being God because you don't believe in him. God is still God, and God is a personal God. Anybody can come here and tell me that God doesn't exist and try to prove it to me, but nobody can take away the experiences that I've lived with God through the Holy Spirit. Nobody can take away from my life the memories, all the recounts of my story, and how holy and how vivid and present God was in the midst of every situation and in my everyday life. I see God everywhere. I see God through the message of a friend. I see God through the words of a friend. I see God in everything that surrounds me. So I know he is a living God. I know he's alive. So what do you need to trust him with? You know, what do you need to do differently in your relationship with God to see even the more supernatural things? Number 3, focus is your choice. Although a storm surrounded him, Peter focused on Jesus, the one who called him. God has called you to do amazing things in this time. You know, he's called you to do amazing things. But then Peter focused on his fear and began to sink. And there will always be a problem when we focus on our fear and when we lose focus of our call, and more importantly, of the one who called us. That's the essence. During our walk in life, you know, sometimes our calling can be different. Sometimes God can call you to take a season of rest. Sometimes God can call you to take a season of working all the time. But we need to keep our focus in the one who did the calling, the one who called us. Not only the ministry, not only the calling. What is important is the one behind all those things, who is the substance and the source of who we are. And the book of Hebrews, it says it so clearly. It says that Jesus and us share the same substance. And when we look at Jesus's life, this is evident in this story. Jesus was walking on water, and he was asking Peter and telling him, hey, you and I share the same substance, so come and walk. So how mind-blowing that is, that, you know, God is in us. He's our source. He's our substance. And he was also in Jesus's life. So if you think what Jesus did was amazing, of course, he was the one that gave us purpose. He was the one that was a bridge. He gave it all for us. But now he left us on this world, and he's saying to you, hey, you and I have the same substance. We're made of the same material. Go out and do what I told you to do.
Amen.
For your life and for those who are hungering for what you possess inside of you. Amen.
Amen.
And number 4, fear will sink you. When Peter had faith, he walked on water. When he had fear, he sank in the water. It's that simple. The same is true for you. Fear will sink you. So is there any fear that is gripping and controlling your decision making in this time? Think about these questions. Think about all these things. Are you rising in the one who called you? Are you rising in your calling? Forgetting everything and running is not an act of cowardness, but one of bigger boldness than staying in a situation that is comfortable and that makes sense. You know, forgetting everything and running, it shows that letting go and letting God can be an outcome of amazing growth, knowledge, and rewards. Once again, we see the same lessons that can be learned in both scenarios. Let it go, let it go.
You really have to let it go. But I don't think she will, because there's another movie coming out.
Yeah.
So
Don't stop.
the long run. So in this scenario, we see number 1. Obedience speaks louder than words. Abraham obeyed, and he is now known by being the father of faith. He was justified in front of God by his obedience, his faith to believe, and leaving everything behind to seek out the new that God had prepared for him. In what way will you let go and obey God today?
Let it go.
Let it go. I just want to say, at least in my case, when I left Puerto Rico to come here, I knew my family was here. I don't know how Abraham did it, but he is a father of faith for something. So, so number 2, faith is the unquestioning belief that unleashes the supernatural. God has promised Abraham that he would multiply his legacy and that his descendants would be like the stars in the sky. All to a guy who was childless and his wife was sterile, because he forgot his old ways and ran towards the promise that God had for him. And he received a son at, a young age 100.
I don't know if that was a blessing or something else. 100 and a baby.
Could he even keep up with that little child? little spoiled child, that's all I'm going to say. So we know you may have comments and questions surrounding that, but unquestioning faith unleashes unbelieving miracles.
Oh, that's nice. Unquestioning faith releases unbelievable miracles. Awesome.
And in what crazy way is your faith unleashing God's power?
Ooh.
Good question.
Awesome. Number 3, the same as with Peter, focus is your choice. Of course, he was afraid to leave his family. I remember going through a scenario like this, and I was totally afraid. I was afraid of leaving family, what was familiar, what was comfortable for me, what was known, which was something very awesome. And number 4, fear will stop you. Just like with Peter, fear will stop you. When Abraham spoke about his plans to his friends, his family, I can only imagine the response. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? I remember...
Are you cray-cray?
Cray-cray. I remember so vividly 4 years ago having a conversation with a couple of people that were in my life at the moment and of my decision. And everybody said, are you crazy? Are you sure? Of course, the people that knew me in essence, my sister, my brother, my mom, a couple of friends who were my real friends, trusted that what I was doing was what God had told me to do, and I have no doubts that fear invaded Abraham's thoughts. Just go, leave, I'll give you a legacy, I'll give you a promise, is what God basically said. Just go to the land that I'll show you. He don't even know where he is. He don't even know what the land looks like, but just go. And more than that, I'll give you a son with a sterile woman who can't have kids. When you're 100. Okay, sure. Right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Faith is a conviction within the heart far beyond the reach of proof. Abraham did not need proof from God because he knew God, and he knew that God was a faithful God, and more of being faithful to us, he's faithful to himself and to his word, and his word never changed. It's the same as it was before, as it is in the present, and it'll be the same as it is in the future. Once faith inhabits your existence, you become it, and it becomes you. You live by faith in the Lord, by faith in his promises. You're fueled by faith. You're filled with faith, And there's an amazing quote that says, when fear invades your heart and your thoughts, you feed your faith, and you'll see your fear starve to death, right? So what will you forget today? What will you leave behind? Both these men were driven by different acronyms of fear. One decided to face everything and rise. The other one was instructed to forget everything and run. They both saw an amazing breakthrough and power in their lives according to their purpose. They became heroes that inspire us even after their time. They're long gone, but we still talk about them, and we still talk about these women that did these, both of their things, both of their stories. I know in my story, I've had to face things and rise above the occasion, but I've always had to also forget, things and run and keep on moving forward. So both these things I can feel identified with. Which one do you identify with now? In what crossroads are you? The most important thing is that you're listening to the voice of the one who knows your purpose, the one who's already there, the one that has seen your beginning, your middle, and your end. And according to that voice, you follow the instruction, either to face everything and rise, or to forget everything and run. It's your choice. So follow God and what He's told you to do, because God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows what
God only knows the lyrics.
God only knows the lyrics for King and Country. We love you.
But right now, we
God
can't
only
remember
knows.
that.
Awesome.
So remember, there's another challenge coming up. So this week's challenge.
What's this week's challenge, girl?
So it is to comment on ways you are letting go and letting God.
Letting
God. Stop.
Okay.
Or ways that you're staying and letting God. The winner will be getting an awesome We Have More self-care set.
Ooh, self-care set. I like that. I like that. I like self-care.
If you're the ones that are leaning towards running, like
yeah, you can just give the bag to your husband.
Just leave it in your car if you have it handy. So remember, this week, Thursday the 22nd, we have our We Have More Bible study.
Yes, the invitation and the event is out. It's also linked below right here on this video. So check that out in the link that we have below. Check it also on our Facebook page.
RSVP the event.
RSVP, because you are a VIP member and all We Have More Bible studies. You're a very important person. We want to share these amazing stories with you. We want to continue to get to know you. We want to know your story. We want to hear you, and we want to get some good food, because we always have good
coffee,
food,
treats,
gifts. Because who doesn't like gifts? Everybody likes gifts.
Everybody.
You know what I mean?
So thank you so much, guys, for watching us on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, let us know what you think about the new days. You know, Tuesdays and Thursdays coming into your house nighttime. Yeah.
And also, you don't have to wait only for those days. We have different contents all over the week. So just remember to follow us on Facebook.
Woohoo! And on Instagram,
Twitter,
and right here on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification bell.